Hey there, friends of FallCon. It's Darren here again with our next unboxing video. This time it is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. This game is part of the FallCon Gaming Library, sponsored for this year by Eastridge Games. Check them out at ergames.ca. Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion is designed by Issac, Childres. It was published in 2020 by Cephalofair Games, and the art was done by Francesca Baerald, Kat Bock, David Bock, David Demaret, Alexandr Elichev, Jason D. Kingsley, and Josh T. McDowell. My apologies for any mispronunciation. According to the publisher, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion is a game for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and 30 minutes per player per scenario, I would suspect. At time of recording this video, on Board Game Geek, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion is a rating of 9.2 and a weight of 3.42. It is currently ranked 332nd overall with over 1,400 ratings. The elevator pitch for Jaws of the Lion is vanquish monsters with strategic card play in this 25-game introduction to Gloomhaven. Mechanically, this game includes a number of mechanisms, including action queue, cooperative, campaign, hand management, and grid movement. All right, let's have a look inside the box. This box is bookcase-sized, a little deeper than the average, so that's a good representation of the size of this game is. Trying to get it within camera there for you. Yeah. Let's have a look inside and pop the shrink and see what's going on. It's a very glossy cover, and so that's cool. And the box is very full because the lid doesn't even close down at the beginning. All right, we have a welcome to Gloomhaven. Before you do anything, there are more components in this game box than you may be used to, and it is important to make sure they're organized before you start to play. Excellent. So inside this box will be a learn to play guide, a scenario book, a supplementary scenario book, the rules glossary, the city map board, and a sticker sheet. For those of you that signed this out at the FallCon Library, you will notice that there will not be a sticker sheet in the game, but there will be campaign logs that you can take a copy of and take home with you. We don't want to ruin the experience for the next player. All right. On the back is a bunch of more stuff and a watch it play video QR code so that if you want to learn how to play the game, my purpose here is to show you what's in the game. So we are not going to open the boxes A, B, C, and D. Good to know. Probably a lot of boxes we're not going to open during this unboxing video, mostly because I don't want to spoil the campaign for you guys. But there is a lot of books. So I'm going to scan quickly through these boxes because we could be here all night. We have a Learn to Play guide. The Learn to Play guide is 32 pages long, nice glossy paper. We'll start by getting out the scenario book. Talks about scenario. It's got a whole table of contents. You know it's a big rule book when there's a table of contents. Scenario 1's rules. We're going to cover this off. I'll probably walk through a lot of what's in Scenario 1, I think, mostly because that shouldn't be too much of a spoiler for people. All right, if you're playing by yourself, you need to control 2 characters. Good to know, because that might be the average thing for most people. We have a play area setup, so we're going to have a health track, and the scenario book is the map. This is the main difference, as I understand it, between Gloomhaven and Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, is the map is already made out for you in a book. We're going to have a plastic tray full of bits, and then you'll have your character area. Cool. So the scenario book features has all these interesting things, what's going on, what's in the scenario, all the rules for that specific scenario, and any special information. How to play the game, how to do card selection, how to order initiative, what you do on a character's turn, what your options are. Attack modifiers, advantage, disadvantage, damage and killing monsters, how to do line of sight, different other keywords that might show up in the game. And they talked about this exclamation point. What did I say? Anytime you see this exclamation point off to the side, the text will direct you to do something in the game. Excellent. Now, after the player turns, monster turns, how to read the monster stats, how to manage the monster's information, and then what happens after you finish Scenario 1. Very cool. Lots more stuff about Scenario 2 rules. We're just going to skip over all that. What happens when you finish Scenario 2, Scenario 4, all the way up to Scenario 5 in this book. And then it has the credits and the standard really cool art from the Gloomhaven series. So that's the Learn to Play guide. The glossary, if you are opening the box for the first time, go read that Learn to Play guide. We're going to cover off real quick here what's in the glossary, because that's what we're here for. Another 32-page rulebook. This has card anatomy, components list, all the treasures, what happens on a monster's turn, how to use the components if you wanted to play with Gloomhaven. This can be is a standalone expansion to the Gloomhaven game. And some charts used for a very specific scenario, I guess. All the keywords that you may have to know more details about for those people that just want to know every little detail. They'll have a whole book here for you to read through to your pleasure. I have a buddy of mine who just loves these extra rule books with all these bits. Hope you're doing well, Bruce. All right. So there are a lot. They alphabetize them at the bottom, so you know we're talking a lot of rules. And then how very detailed breakdown of a card anatomy, the battle goals, the character maps, the character abilities, the event cards. Like, they've gone in the minutia detail in this book to give you guys the best chance of not having to go ask a rules question on Board Game Geek. I suspect most of you still will. Monster turns, everything that can happen on a monster turn. My favorite part, all of the components. So I can figure out if everything's back in the box. And if you're missing parts, they tell you how to get them. Excellent. And how to integrate and different indexes for different checklists. That's a big rule book. There's a supplemental scenario book. I'm going to take a quick look off camera just to see what's going on in here. Oh, these are maps. I'm not going to show you guys this. So there's a scenario book that has supplemental information for some of the other scenarios. We'll leave that over there. Scenario 1's the first thing that you're going to look in the book, so I'll show you the first page and maybe flip it over. Nice long narratives to start off, rewards, and read the first section of the Learn to Play guide when you're continuing on Scenario 1. Now, it's a spiral bound because, if you saw in that rule book, it's going to create a map. And your Scenario 1 is the roadside ambush, which is no surprise, but I suspect it forks off to other scenarios, so I won't go any farther than this, but it is good solid cardboard. So the cover is anyway. The other stuff is paper. It's good solid paper. It's clear. The hexes are well denoted. You don't have to deal with fiddly tiles or matching things up and finding them all. It shows you where the monsters go, where you guys start, where the monsters are, any traps or anything that's in the game, all the introduction and rules. That's cool. All right. I'm going to leave that scenario book alone because, well, that's the whole campaign. We have the sticker sheet. Like I said, this won't be in the game, but you don't need it to play the game. You can just mark off what you're doing. We have we have a bunch of punch boards. 6 of them. Good, thick, sturdy cardboard. Let's see. There's your zoom on the thickness. So I'm going to guess coins, victory points, or maybe damage. It's been a long time. Damage. They have little hearts, little blood drops in them. Some other symbols that I'm not sure what they do. Backside. So the coins are hidden information. We have a whole bunch of status icons and terrain and some elements, maybe. I only played Gloomhaven a couple of times before our campaign stopped, and I'm hoping to get this one started up possibly as a solo game. And those of you that know me well can pick yourselves back up out of the chair. All the monsters. I'm not going to go real long into these because they're just monsters with pictures. We have more monsters and pictures. We have a board. Oh, this is the elements, the 5 earth, air, fire, water, and stuff like that, whether they're inert, waning, or strong, similar to what happened in Gloomhaven, but again, may work a little differently. More people, more tokens. This game, I think the players have miniatures, but all the monsters are cardboard. Some stats, I'm not quite sure what these are. Red Guard, Stone Golem, Void Warden, no idea. Little exclamation marks, maybe these are little campaign notes or treasure markers. Interesting. And that's all the punch boards that are in Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. We have a map board, significantly smaller than the map board that was in the base Gloomhaven. It fits the box. It doesn't even have a fold. This is where you would put all your little stickers if you were going to have them, or you can just mark them off on the campaign log. I should have probably printed one off, but it's on Board Game Geek. And if you can't find it, send me a note and I'll help you out. It has one side. There's no art on the back, which is fine, but I like when they take advantage of the back side and do another board or something else. We have a tray to hold a number of these tokens. It's surprisingly thin. Like it's functional, but it's a lot thinner in construction than I was hoping for. It is definitely not a game trays type of token holder, but it will absolutely do. I suspect the insert will survive for a little while. These are damage and experience trackers. They're identical as near as I can tell from the ones that were in Gloomhaven themselves. There's the camera. So, yeah, they have little spin wheels on the side to handle experience and your hit points. My hit points is usually too low to count. There are 4 of those because this plays up to 4 players. We have a bunch of token stands. They're standard plastic. Probably, well, they look like they're wide enough that they probably won't wreck the card that's put in them. I always worry about that. Yellow ones, I think, were for the elites, and whites for the regulars. And there's a fair number of them. So there's going to be some scenarios with a lot of monsters coming, folks. Hope you're ready. Let's put that over here. Just out of camera. All right. A collection of baggies. Cool. Save the best for last, I guess. We have the city cards. I don't really want to open any of these things up until I know what's going on because there's just a deck of city cards, but I want to see the quality. Let's see if I can get this open without causing too much trouble. If I put it far enough back, you guys will have to zoom in if you want to read it. So they're good quality. They're plasticky cards, so I think they'll take some abuse. I know that people will sleeve them anyway. They are numbered, so they will apply in some way. And yeah, we'll show you the first one because I suspect that'll be the first one you guys have to run into. All right, so it has a whole bunch of text, option A, option B, and then what happens if you do option A and option B. And that's all I'm going to spoil. But we have, I don't know, cards. These are, they have a brick or a wall icon graphic on the back. And these look like skills or, no, these are goals that you can gain in a game if you do certain things. I'm just going to show you one, the acrobat. Lose 1 card to negate suffering 5 or more damage. It has a little checkbox because that's what you get is 1 checkbox. And there's a bunch of these. quite a few of those in the deck. Yeah, I know some of the things are going to be can't really dig into because I want the mystery for you guys. But I wanted you to see what was in the box so you could make your own decision about whether or not you wanted to buy the game. Weapons. I can show you one of these. We have, let's go to the bottom. The Eagle Eye Goggles. Sure. During your attack, gain advantage for the entire attack action. Cost $30 probably. Looks like there might be 2 of them in the game. Yes. 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. Cards are good quality. They're still Hobbit cards. There's a whole deck of these equipment, and they're all have that sword icon on the back. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit. These are combat cards. They look identical to what was in Gloomhaven. So, combat cards, there's no real mystery here. There's nothing I'm giving away. 2x damage. You missed. Congratulations. Oh, there's a lot of those. +0, +1. These have different icons for different people, I think. I don't know. We'll find out how to set all that up when we play the game. There's a whole stack of combat cards. I'm worried about this deck because this is the boss deck, or part of it anyway, is the boss deck. We have the boss. I'll show you the first boss. Twin missiles. Let's have a look at that. Like so. So it has an initiative value and different things that you can do for move or attack. Cool. Lots of different monsters. These are all the monster cards. There's a lot of monster cards. Like, I mean, a lot. The whole deck. So, yes, you have a lot of variety of what's going on in the monster deck, which I think will be really cool when we get to try it out. What else do we got? We have dividers. We have the monster attack modifiers, the unavailable items, and the encountered events. That'll be helpful to sort the insert. Getting more and more likely that I'm going to keep this insert. I know. We have little folders for combat. I suspect I'm going to take one of these, the giant viper, because why not? We have a giant viper card with 4 sides on it. Let's slide this out of the way. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. And a little sleeve to handle it. And we slide it in. And then we can worry about which side we're dealing with and not get distracted by a different version of the giant viper. And they are double-sided, so there's lots of options. Cool. There are 4 of those. So I guess there's 4 different. You're not going to see any more than 4 different types of monsters in the game at a time. And there's a goodly stack of monster cards. The other one I'll show you is the Stone Golem. The artwork's in the middle, so you'll be able to find the tokens that you need in wherever the tokens end up being. All right. Okay, we have 4 boxes that I am not going to open. Well, I don't know if I can open. Let's pick one. Hatchet guy. Save the mystery for other people. So we're going to spoil the hatchet. I apologize for those of you that want to lynch me later for spoiling the hatchet. Hatchet dude. Betting he has a hatchet. He does. Look. A cute little hatchet there on the side. And a feather in his hat. I really wish I could paint. These are nice, well-detailed miniatures. Good plastic. Yeah. I'll leave him there. Actually, I'll lay him down. So if you zoom in on the video, you can have a look. So inside Hatchet Guy's box, we have, what do we have? We have his board, Hatchet, and what level and what hit points the gentleman will have. Any conditions might sit there. His icons, whether it's lost or whether it's discarded, and a story about the Inox hatchet. Very cool. A campaign log. Do not open this pack until you are directed to do so. So I'm sorry, I'm not opening this pack. His combat deck, it's probably basically identical to the Monster Combat deck, with different numbers from 0, +1, and they have his icon so you know whose cards they are when they go back in the deck. +2 and 2x, you critical. Little tokens to handle if he needs a token on something with a little blue hatchet on it. And his deck of cards. We have a player reference. It has 2 sides with various round overview, some icons that might be important for the game, and then a bunch of cards with powers. They have an initiative number. They have a top and a bottom. You play 2 cards in a turn. You're going to use 1 top and 1 bottom. Right. And this is an A card. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing that there's B cards. Yes, there are. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there is a huge deck of cards for just the Inox hatchet in that deck. All right, and the last thing we're going to look at is whatever this... Do not open this pack until he reaches level 5. Oh, I might get in trouble by the Gloomhaven security forces. All right, so there are 3 other characters I am not going to open because we like a good mystery with Gloomhaven. There are the 3 miniatures for those characters and 3 mysteries. I don't know. I'm not even going to pull out the insert. I've played too many Legacy games to know that there might be something hidden underneath. I'm really excited for this. Gloomhaven, the big box, is way too much game for me. I can't seem to get that much of a campaign done. There's 60 plus scenarios and expansions and all that. And there are definitely groups that absolutely love it. I know a number of my friends have played throughout most of the scenarios and a lot of the side treks and all that. Fantastic for them. Right now, this might be a solo game for me, but I have to see whether I can play it, read up on whether I can play it again with friends afterwards and it won't spoil the experience. This looks fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. It should be very quick to play, a quick scenario, put it away, save your game, come back when you're ready to play again. Yeah, and this will be in the FallCon game library for you guys to try out. Again, it won't have the stickers in it because we don't want to ruin the experience for the next people, but a campaign log will give you 90% of the same experience, and some people have told me it's even easier for them to tell what they've done and where they're going next by using the log. So your mileage may vary, and you might have to go get your own copy before FallCon happens. But if not, you can definitely come to FallCon, sign this out of the library, and give it a shot. I want to thank you guys for coming to check out our unboxing video of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. I also want to thank East Ridge Games for sponsoring the FallCon Gaming Library this year. Check out FallCon.com for more information about our convention and our meetups in the Calgary, Alberta area. I'd love it if you guys liked and subscribed to our channel. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll try and answer as best I can. In closing, I'm Darren with FallCon, and I want to know, are you game? Thanks, and have a great day.